There have been rumours and allegations that Roman Reigns might be involved in a massive steroid distribution ring. Again, this is just a rumour, but it was reported that jailed steroid dealer Richard Rodriguez named Roman Reigns and a bunch of other professional athletes and celebrities as his clients. As we already know, WWE suspended Roman Reigns in 2016 for violating WWE's wellness policy.
I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a good guy. I'm the guy.
Who failed a drug test. Naughty Roman. Naughty Roman. Naughty Roman. So, hearing rumours about Roman Reigns being involved in a steroid distribution ring doesn't fare well for the company's biggest babyface. Naughty Roman. The filmmaker and reporter John Bravo, who has been interviewing the former Iron Addicts gym owner Richard Rodriguez, made it clear how his story is not fake. Bravo obtained Rodriguez's laptop, used in court, which contains all the orders and text messages. He said Roman Reigns' case is unique because of the way orders were placed and delivered. He also claimed that Reigns has ordered things which are not just testosterone, and, oddly enough, the orders that Reigns placed were a couple of months before his 2016. During a WWE live show back in 2013, Roman Reigns and Randy Orton were competing in a tag team match on opposing teams. However, after the match was finished, Randy Orton and Roman Reigns were heard backstage having a loud argument over a miscommunication the two had during the match, which caused a botch. This caused The Shield to have some heat backstage. And we know how Randy acts when things don't go smoothly in the ring. Just ask Kofi. Face planted! Vince McMahon wanted to punish Roman Reigns, who was a rookie at the time. And when I say punish, I mean punish.
A few inches later.
Excuse me, Roman, if I could just get a quick question with you about what just happened.
I enjoyed every second of it.
However, Triple H convinced the chairman against punishing Reigns, as he wanted The Shield to keep fighting strong on TV. The Shield is arguably one of the most successful professional wrestling stables in WWE history. The trio of Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose would go on to declare their intention to fight what they perceived as injustice in the WWE, and terrorized anybody who crossed their path. Many fans would assume that Roman Reigns was the ringleader of the group, and therefore the creator. However, it was actually CM Punk who came up with the idea of The Shield.
I want the Shield!
On Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling podcast, Punk revealed how he pitched the idea of The Shield to Triple H and Vince McMahon, and they agreed to it. Punk had the idea of Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Cassius Ohno forming The Shield. However, Triple H shot down the idea of having Cassius Ohno as part of The Shield, due to Ohno refusing to bulk up and get into better shape. Instead, Triple H selected Roman Reigns, and the rest is history. Roman Reigns has quite a history of speaking carelessly out of character in interviews. For a start, he offended a lot of critics on Sam Roberts' podcast by saying the majority of critics are people who have no clue what they are talking about and have never been in a wrestling ring, and found it completely asinine for them to critique performers. On the Josh podcast, Roman called his fellow peers, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, journeymen, which means a worker or a sports player who is reliable but not outstanding. Ouch. A bit like him then, I suppose. In 2014, in an interview with the Reno Gazette-Journal, Roman Reigns threw some shade towards John Cena after he was constantly compared to the 16-time world champion. He said the following about John Cena. "Last time I checked, I'm 6'3", 265 pounds, which is bigger than John Cena. Last time I checked, my hair is long and jet black, and last time I checked, John Cena's isn't. I'm way better looking, and I'm way more athletic than he is. So, for anybody to compare me to him is completely asinine." I've noticed Reigns uses the word asinine a lot. Well, I'm going to use that word too. I think Roman is completely asinine. If he thought his match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania 33 was good. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't bad, it just wasn't particularly good. Maybe average at best. Before Roman Reigns signed a contract with the WWE to join the organization's developmental promotion at the time, Florida Championship Wrestling, FCW, back in 2010, WWE's top babyface was actually arrested for disorderly intoxication and affray, unlawful assembly, or riot. In other words, the big dog was placed in handcuffs for appearing drunk in public and getting into a fight. He was later released on a $1,000 bond and charged $500 for each offense. It's unclear as to whether the WWE knew about Roman's arrest at the time of his signing, but what we do know is that it did not affect his momentous push to become WWE's top star. Let me tell you, it required little to no convincing.
I would cock this here fist, and I would make it rain in that bitch.
You can certainly
Believe that.
Open your eyes.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please show your support by leaving a like and sharing this video, as it really does help us a lot. Don't forget to comment below too, and we will pin up the best comment. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video from us. Lastly, for daily wrestling facts and more, follow all of our social media accounts, which are on screen and in the description. Thanks, and until the next video.